I've got two of these lace circles that fit lovely into this ball edge tray, silicone mould. So I thought I'd try it two ways today, one with resin and one with eco powder. So I'm just going to pop those to one side for a minute. I'm going to be using the Let's Resin Chameleon powder in the red, and I'm also going to be using some of the Super Sparkle White from Tracy at Mini Scenes GB. So I'm going to start off by adding the red around the outside of this gorgeous bead tray. So I'm just going to add this and burnish that in all the way around the outside, making sure I get up into that lip around the edge there and all around these edges. So I'll do that and then I'll come back once that's all done. That's the tray all burnished in that lovely red now, and I've gone round the top just to clean up where the powder went where I didn't want it, using a baby wipe and just a bit of 99% alcohol. So that's nice and tidy on that top area now. I've mixed up some of the Let's Resin 1:1 epoxy resin that Let's Resin have very kindly sent me to use. So I've got about, I think it's 200 ml in there, and I'm going to add to that the Super Sparkle White. So a little bit of that going in there, and then I'm just going to get that mixed together. That's all nicely mixed in now. So I'm just going to pour that straight into my tray. I'm just going to pour it really slowly around this edge and just let it find its own way into all those little detail edges around there. And I'm not going to fill it up all the way to the top. I think that will probably be enough. Make sure I've got enough there, because I want to give it a top coat afterwards as well. So now I'm just going to take my piece of lace. I think I'll give this a squirt with some 99% alcohol. Just going to give that a spray. And then I'm just going to slowly place that down into the resin. And then just let those sides drop down. Right, okay, so we're just going to leave this to cure now, and then I'll see you back for the next bit. This is all cured up now, and with the leftover resin I did pour a couple of snowflakes and a flower, but they're still a bit soft, so can't demold those just yet. I've mixed up some more of the Let's Resin 1:1 epoxy resin, and I'm going to add to that the Let's Resin mica powder in dark green. So I'm gonna pop some of that into there and then get that mixed in. You do need to make sure that you mix in your mica powders really thoroughly. You don't want to be seeing any floating mica powder on the top. So like that bit there. So we're just going to keep mixing it until it's nicely mixed in. And then I'm just going to pour that straight over the top. Filling up the mould now with this beautiful green colour. Nice Christmassy colours. So just get that last bit out of there. And then I'm just going to give that a quick torch with a cigarette lighter. Pop any bubbles. And then we're going to leave this to cure, and then I'll see you back for demold. This is all cured up now, and I finished off the extras that I did. So I just went round the outside of the flower with a silver chrome marker pen. So that's that one. And I've done the same with the snowflakes and just gone round the edge with a silver pen. So they look lovely. And then your long candle just fits in those like that. It's a bit wobbly, you'd have to heat up the bottom and melt it in and hold it in that way, but lovely, like those. Right, let's see how this has turned out. So let's get this one out the mould. Ooh. Pop that back in the right way. Right, let's have a look. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, I like that. That's lovely. Right, so next let's do one in Eco and see how that turns out. I'm going to be using Let's Resin Magic Pour, and this is an Eco powder that's measured out by 3:1 by weight, but I'm not going to measure it, I'm just going to guesstimate it. So I'm just going to add some water into my pot first, and then add the powder. So a few scoops of that going in there. And then I'm just going to mix that all together. That feels like it could do with a bit more powder. So let's add some more powder into there. Once you've used these Eco powders for a while, you do get used to the consistency that they should be. So that still needs some more powder. So another scoop going in there. And get that mixed in. And then I'm going to add to that some of the Let's Resin mica powder, the cyan. So just pop in a little bit of that in there, and then get that mixed in. Just going to add a tiny bit more, I think. I only want it to be quite subtle, so I don't need a lot. Just mix that in. That's that all mixed, and we've got like just a really nice pastel-y bluey grey going on there. So that's lovely. I don't know if you can see that, but it doesn't show up so much on camera, but that's just like a really light blue. So, well, like a bluey grey. So I'm going to place the lace over the top there. Just flatten that down as much as I can, and then I'm just going to pour the magic pour just straight over the top. So I'm just going to go really slowly just over the lace to start with, and let it find its own way over the edges down into that bit round the side. So that's that all topped up. And I don't want to do any tapping or shaking because I don't want to dislodge the lace. So leave that to cure now, and then I'll see you back for demold. This is all cured up now, and with the leftover magic pour I did another one of the little snowflakes, so that's very pretty. And I've also done a little butterfly trinket pot. Again, that's so pretty. I might highlight that detail in silver. Right, so let's pop this one out and see how this has come out. Loving the colour. It's a lovely pastel blue. Pop that back in the right way. Right, let's have a look. Oh, I like that. That's lovely. Oh, it looks like a snowflake, doesn't it? I really like that. Have you got a favourite out of those two? I think this is mine. That's lovely. The colours are beautiful, but they're probably a bit too much in your face for me. I like the subtleness of that. Right, so you can actually fill the lace there, and I think to protect the lace, I think that's going to need a top coat of some resin. So I'll just go and mix up some resin, and then I'll see you back in a minute. I've mixed up a small amount of the Let's Resin 1:1 epoxy resin, and I'm going to add to that the 200 mesh super sparkle white from Tracy at Mini Scenes GB. I think I'll just pop a tiny bit of that into there, give it a little extra bit of something, and get that mixed in. That's all nicely mixed in there. And I've got to say, considering I couldn't shake or tap or anything with the mould because I was worried about that lace moving, there's not one bubble in there, not one. Normally you have to shake the living daylights out of some eco resins, but not this one. That's incredible. Right, so let's just pour this straight over the top. And then work that out to the edges. I'm just going to tilt it and squish that all the way around. Some bits are deeper than others where that lace is. I think that will do. Right, so I'm just going to give this a quick torch. Pop any bubbles, and I'm just using a cigarette lighter. So pop any of those bubbles, and then I'll leave that to cure, and then I might do something with the outside edge once that's cured. So I'll see you back in a little while. This is all cured now, and with the leftover resin I just made a little butterfly, and then I've just gone around the edges using a silver marker. So that's him done. So this is looking gorgeous now, and I think I'm just going to finish this one off by highlighting these lovely edges, and I'm going to use the Pebeo gilding wax in silver and just dry brush on some of this round the outside. So just dusting that over lightly, and then that will highlight those details. So while I'm doing this, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to all my subscribers. Appreciate you all so much, and thank you to anyone that's sent me a coffee or sent me a super thanks. And any money that I do get from anything like that does go straight back into my channel, and it helps me to buy new moulds and stuff, so I really do appreciate that. Thank you ever so much. And if you want to grab yourself any discount for any of the products that I do use in any of my videos, you'll find those in my description box, so help yourself to those. Right, I think I'll just do a little bit over the top as well. There we go. So that's how the edges are looking now. Nice easy way just to add some highlights. So that's all my makes finished today. Have you got a preference? Which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments. So thank you ever so much for watching my video today, and stay tuned for the pictures at the end, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.